All right, so we're here in lovely San Jose over at the Province Restaurant with Andrew from Joy Token.
Nice to see you, Chris.
So
How
good
you
to
doing?
see you again, huh?
Yes.
Now, the unique thing about your project that I actually find unique, that stands out from other projects in the crypto space, is you have an existing license.
Yes.
You have an existing casino. You have the tools needed to legally create gaming applications and deliver them and distribute them.
Yes.
Talk about that, because that, in my opinion, is what separates you from the men from the boys.
Yeah.
That's what makes your project unique.
Well, PlayCosmo.com is our casino, and although it's not going to be the only outlet for our games, it's where we're going to showcase them. It's got a license in UK, Malta, and Curacao.
So the other day on Twitter, I saw one of the officials from Malta gleefully inviting Binance to Malta and talking about how Malta is so pro-crypto.
Well, that's probably because the Bank of Valletta, although they are principally anti-cryptocurrency, are largely owned by the Maltese government, who are pro-cryptocurrency. So we are going to see some movement there. I mean, if you look at Gibraltar, they're pro-cryptocurrency, but with larger investments. It's only sensible for Malta to try and jump on board. They did that years ago with the online gambling. They saw the way the wind was changing, saw an opportunity, and got it on board as quickly as possible, and their economies thrived due to it. So I'm not surprised that crypto's going the same way.
So you're licensed in Malta.
We're licensed
in
UK and Curacao. Yes, well, these ones what we're talking about is for PlayCosmo. They're the B2C, the business to consumer. And that allows us to deploy our casino in most of the global marketplaces. You know, there are restricted territories such as Denmark, Italy. There's black markets such as China and America, where our licenses don't allow us to go. But this is something that we'll be evaluating going forward. However, on the games distribution, which is where the Joy Gaming system and platform comes on board, we have a license with the UK, and we've got a Maltese license pending. And we have a game studio that actually uses these licenses to push their games out. They've got B2B agreements with a lot of top-tier casinos. It's through these agreements that the Joy Gaming games that we're going to build, the kind of app store model, will be published through. And that allows us to get a high level of player liquidity, with a lot of market penetration.
Your model is almost like the Apple App Store, almost like iTunes.
It is, and that's the great thing, because at the moment the online gambling industry is so static and unmovable that the big companies create the same games with the same kind of mechanics behind them. Now, we don't have a problem if an independent developer comes along and builds another as-is slot. But if they've got new ideas and innovation, well, this is the place to come and publish them. And I think that it's something worth watching.
I'll tell you, that really makes your project exciting, because when I think of how much money Apple has generated from its iTunes platform, it's I think it's close to $25 billion a year.
Yes, it is.
And
we're planning on taking the same 30%.
and that's a great model.
Yeah.
Now, as a token holder, do I get a dividend from that 30%?
No, but at the same time, it'll be based on the economics of the token and supply and demand. Now, the more developers we get on board and the more that we can have published in the B2B segments, means more consumers that are using it.
Now, as a token holder, I'd want some of that 30%. Are you open to maybe creating a dividend?
It's something that we can look at in phase 2. But primarily, we want to try and get the existing model live. If we want to do that to engage a bit more, then we might actually consider it a little bit further down the line. There has been a lot of people asking about having a stake in the business as opposed to the cryptocurrency, and it is something that we're looking at.
Good, I like that. So talk to me about what's most important to every token holder out there. What is your post-ICO strategy to create liquidity and value for every one of your token holders?
Well, for us, it's all about building relationships. You know, it's relationships with the developers, it's relationships with the B2B partners, and to make sure that we have the team in place to secure the agreements, to make sure that we do get things put in the right place. And if you consider that the big vendors that are out there at the moment, their games are in the prominent positions. I've got to turn around and say to our network of B2B partners and say, I'm going to put $500,000 of marketing behind this. You can skin it however you like, and this is what the price structure is going to be. This is the framework of the campaign. You can take part in this, but you've got to put our games on the front page, above the fold, and you've got to put your customers to this for the qualifying criteria. By doing that, we should then get a surge of consumers coming in, which is high liquidity. And I haven't worked in the B2C element and run similar campaigns before. The attrition rate from that is minimal. It's about 25% month on month, So that surge will do us nicely initially. By increasing the awareness with the B2Bs, we'll get more customers playing with increased liquidity, and that's why I've been saying our difference being that we are working on B2B partners and we are putting the games to a lot of casinos as opposed to a lot of other businesses which are creating games for their own. We will be able to get more revenues behind it. Now, we are not restricting play to the Joy token. We are allowing fiat play because of various different regulations, and also because not every member of the public is familiar with cryptocurrency. So why restrict a revenue stream? And at the other side of it, we're paying our developers in the Joy token. So no matter the revenue that comes through, there's going to be an increased demand for the Joy token in terms of how we've got to pay the developer.
Are you going to look to put the Joy token on some very liquid exchanges so that your users have liquidity?
Yes, we're looking for the top tier ones. We're looking at OB and OKX at the moment, and we're in negotiations for that through our partner at Node Capital.
Good. Good.